there is a way that the United States actually could, in essence, win the war in Iran and probably do it within the new 60-day ceasefire period that Trump deems to have started upon his recent initiation of notice to Congress of this war restarting, resuming, whatever you want to count it. Really and truly, there was only about 38 days of combat prior to the MOU kicking in. So before we get into the how to win it, we're going to talk a little bit about why that is actually very important. And part of that is that Iran, during the period of the MOU, was busy reinforcing and building up their pickaxe nuclear enrichment and storage facility, whatever it is, their nuclear facility in Pickaxe Mountain. Now, Pickaxe Mountain is like under 2,000 feet of granite. It's a lot of granite. It's more than we can hit with our best non-nuclear bunker buster bombs, unless you lob several in the same hole in succession. Now, our guys are good enough. I believe they could do that, but still, it's a questionable enterprise to try to take out the facilities within the tunnel, unless you go nuclear, which maybe they will, because there's word that, one time the Bush administration was working on a nuclear bunker buster and they abandoned that. It's possible that that may have been resumed. I've heard some chatter about it. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but here's what you got to know. What you got to know is that Donald Trump has just pledged to attack Pickaxe Mountain. I don't know why they didn't attack it the first time, but he's talking about lobbing a great big bomb, as he calls it, right in the entrance. Well, that would definitely make access to Pickaxe Mountain more problematic, and that is something they could do without resorting to a nuclear bunker buster, which would generate a lot of controversy, although a nuclear bunker buster would be a small or very small nuke, and it would definitely go off underground and probably wouldn't spread that much radiation, maybe, hopefully none, depending on how deep it penetrates, but through granite, maybe not so deep. So there probably would be some radiation in the area. It would not be like, the full-scale nuclear war kind of radiation that we worry about here in the United States, which would mostly be gone in 2 weeks, by the way. Unlike our nuclear power plants, if we lose a power grid, which could be emitting radiation for years on end, due to the way the spent fuel rods would melt. Some I've talked about in other videos. But this would be more like maybe, the Hiroshima and Nagasaki were air blast. That spread a lot of radiation for some distance, although it didn't pick up the dust. Now, one thing is where you get to heavy fallouts when the dust gets in there. And if you get a below ground burst, it's not as bad as a surface burst. So it's kind of mixed. What you would get, it's not in the most highly populated areas necessarily. But these are some of the things to take into account. And only got one person viewing. Wow. Or at least in the chat room. So, guys, the whole thing is that here's been my proposition from the get-go. It's that Iran has so feverishly held on to their nuclear enriched, highly enriched uranium. That has been their top priority, in spite of the fact of them having the snot bombed out of them, been attacked. Most countries would not have endured what they've endured just to hold on to uranium. That speaks volumes to me. Hey, Kim Possible's in the house. Good to see. That speaks volumes to me that Iran would hold on to that uranium so tightly. When you couple that with their constitution having in it the spread of the Islamic religion around the world, and when you know their faith of violent spread, and the belief that they've got to have an apocalyptic war to get their 12th Iman to crawl out of the well, then you got to understand that's not just rhetoric. They mean it. And the proof that they mean it is in the measures they've gone through to protect this. But what really underlies that more than anything else is that they actually went in and started modifying the Pickaxe facility against the MOU. that was absolutely against the MOU to do that. And yet they went in and started modifying that PIC-X facility. Wow. That says a lot. They started reinforcing it, putting in concrete, extra concrete, and doing other things. And it's been my thought all along that when all those trucks showed up at the Fordeaux place, which was bombed in Operation Midnight Hammer by the B-2s, the Bunker Busters, that, there's like 21 big trucks out there right before that happened. I think that I showed you guys, I did the calculations. It would only took one truck to move the centrifuges. It would only have taken one truck. It wouldn't even filled up an entire semi truck. So they easily could have moved those centrifuges with that uranium hexafluoride. That's how the uranium is. The uranium is not just sitting around in a bar or in dust. It's in a gas. It's a gas inside the centrifuges. It's uranium hexafluoride, which is a very toxic gas. And the reason I said they didn't get them was because you saw the big crater holes at the sites they bombed. Had that gas been released, nobody would have been walking around there in shirt sleeves. You would have had to have some serious protective gear on for that, personal protective equipment, military operations, posture, mop equipment, you would have had basically a spacesuit, but the radioactivity would have rendered even that not very effective. So you would have had toxicity from the, you're talking uranium hexafluoride. The fluoride is extremely toxic by itself. I mean, caustic. It will eat through stuff. It's highly reactive. It's like worse than oxygen. It's extremely reactive, toxic. And then you add to that uranium, which is highly enriched uranium, which is extremely radioactive. No, we didn't hit them. I said that right after, as soon as I saw the bomb holes and saw where they stretched out orange tape and saw the guys working around the surface. Nope. Nobody else in the media anywhere said that. Nobody. No one at all anywhere has ever said that. Why? Because your media don't have any engineers in it, don't have technical people, don't have people with their proper science background. So I brought that to you guys. And so that's unique here. So you get some things here you're not going to get anywhere else. That was not in a single news article anywhere that I ever saw. So that's why you come to Green Greg, so you get unique content here. Unique up on it. That's how you catch a wabbit, right? Unique up on it. But anyway, all right. So back to this thing with PIC-X Mountain. Like I said, it's a major infraction of the MOU. They were doing it before the MOU, before they shot at the tankers that caused Trump to declare the MOU over. Supposedly they were in the MOU period, but they're busy. That's what Iran always does. They always cheat to the hilt. I mean, to the hilt, as far as they can go. They cheat. They always have. They always will. They want to build nukes. They always did. There's no other plausible explanation for enriching uranium to 60%, for having all those centrifuges. You don't need that for nuclear power. Nuclear power is what, 4%? Research, maybe 20%. You don't have any plausible explanation. Well, you do it for peaceful purposes. Yeah, right. Read your Constitution. Look at their religion, and now see how proactive they've been in protecting this stuff. Not good. And they lied to us about their missile ranges. They said their top missile range was 2,000 miles. It was 4,000 miles. We found out when they fired a couple toward Diego Garcia. So we did bomb Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordeaux. That was the three sites we bombed. We did not bomb PIC-X, probably because it was so deep. Maybe we thought it was still under construction to a large degree. Well, they apparently are using PIC-X right now. So Arabia went up nuking itself. Maybe. They just covering it up. They knew the uranium wasn't destroyed. Well, some of them tried to announce it, and Trump really lashed out on them for that. And I know some people on Facebook accuse me of being a Trump shill. That no, I'm here to bring you the truth as I see it, no matter what it is. I definitely am for the conservative cause, because socialism and communism are horrific, and we're we're starting to face down the barrel of that stuff here with this midterms coming. We got to be real careful with that. But I think I'm gonna do a video on my Swivelhead News devoted to that, maybe a few videos. There's a lot of news content in that area, and there's a lot to be concerned about there. But that's not going to be our topic tonight. Maybe not. So I want to keep that kind of stuff on Swivelhead. I've not done a video on Swivelhead in a long time. I'm probably going, if I don't do something fast, I'll lose monetization on that channel like I did on Green Gregs for on Galactic Gregs for a while. So let's get back to this. So hammer them to dust. There you go. The only thing that will make the necessary difference. Amen. So they only understand force. Everything from them has always been and always will be a delay tactic to do exactly what they've wanted to do all along. This is why they built so many missiles, built so many drones. This is why they set up all their proxy forces, especially Hezbollah, the Houthis, and even Hamas. This is what they've been about. Oh, yeah, we just had a Chicago Teachers Union held a big conference of people that are anti the pro-Iran, the revolutionary Democrats, you know, the DSA guys, probably the ones on the far fringe. But these guys are talking about wanting to destroy a port in the United States. I'm not kidding you guys. I'll have to share this on Swivelhead News. But you know, we got some. We're not just having to worry about sleeper cells. We're having to worry about some of the radicals right here, homegrown, that are losing their minds. That's why I really encourage you guys to go out and vote in the midterms. A lot of people didn't want to vote in the midterms. You know, I understand a lot of people being angry over gas prices going. Guess what? Gas prices right now here in Snowflake, I paid the least today I've ever paid for gas, and since this whole thing started, and it was cheaper prices than I was paying under Biden. Now the gas is going back up. The gas prices are surging. I heard that. Gas prices are surging over the conflict. They're going all the way up to $78 a barrel. Well, guess what? I remember back in the previous administration, I think Obama or somewhere, where gas prices were like $100 a gallon barrel, $100 a barrel. And when it dropped below $100 a barrel, the big oil boom going on in Wyoming kind of went bust because they needed about $100 a barrel to produce a lot of that oil. Of course, that's probably about $120 a day with inflation. Everybody said that this was going to drive oil prices to $200, you know, the Strait of Hormuz closing, so the price of oil will go to $200 a barrel. I heard that for a long time. Didn't happen. That didn't happen. That's the good news. It didn't go to $200 a barrel. So I want to convey what Dr. Zeus had to say about. But anyways, people need to wake up. This country's done. American people, for the most part, are fed up. See it? Hey, you want to talk about the CIA and FBI, the deep state? There's rumors they just tried to do Trump in. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. We'll come back to that. There are rumors that they were trying to take Trump out. I will cover that. I will talk about that. But first, let's talk about how to win in Iran. That's what I put on the cover here. Now, I just talked about why it's urgent. It's because they're holding on for dear life with the hopes of coming back and coming at us. They are always planning to come at us. They just wanted to do it on their terms. And maybe we let it slip too long. We let them build too many drones, too many missiles, too many underground bunkers. That's the truth. We let it go too far. But they would have came at us sooner or later. We would have been fighting Iran one way or the other because that was everything they believed in. That was everything they were gearing up for. So here's the thing that you need to know. They can probably be stopped or weakened to the point that it don't matter. How do you do that? Iran has to restock and resupply like everybody else. Iran is not getting anything through the Strait of Hormuz, but they have ports on the Caspian Sea. They have rail lines that go to Russia and China. We did recently hit one of those rail lines. We took it out. There are also airports in Iran. I would say bomb the snot out of the airports where air cargo can't come in and out, so they can't get new weapons from China. Bomb the snot out of the ports in the Caspian Sea so they can't get anything out of Russia. And bomb the rail lines, attack the rail lines, and then go for their power grid. Because a lot of the equipment they have that they're producing requires electrical power to produce, to command and control even. Some of their missiles and drones, you ain't going to run them without electrical power. Even the ones that's got batteries have typically got to be charged up, some unless they're thermal batteries. I'm not sure they got the technology for thermal batteries over there. Maybe they do. But launchers are typically run on electrical power. You can only run on so much battery power and diesel backup when you're shutting down the fuel, when you're shutting down the transportations. Go for the bridges, go for the power plants, and go for the IRGC headquarters, troop barracks, and all that. Right now, we've been hitting radar sites and things like that because that gives us better ability to operate in Iran to take out these other things. So those other things tend to come next. So, they've done a lot of repair work during the MOU period. So, and here's another funny thing to note, though. Well, let me finish this. So if you go through all this and bomb them, cut off their economy, the IRGC troops aren't getting paid. It's at some point the regime is either hit more of their factories, hit their launchers, hit line sites as much as you can. You probably won't get all the drones. You probably won't get all the missiles. We have definitely decimated a lot of the launchers because they're not launching as many missiles or drones as they used to, either one. Every time they launch, it's a calling card. We're right here. We'll take it out. Calling card. We're right here. We've been playing whack-a-mole in a sense with them. But if you degrade them enough, they will become weak to the point that we could actually just not have any kind of peace deal. We could withdraw entirely from the area and leave it to the allies to police up the rest and to interdict whatever's going on with Iran. Iran could be weakened to the point that the regime doesn't fall, that they can't pose a serious risk that can't be overcome by the allies who actually need those resources. Now, here's the funny thing. There ain't none of that stuff we need here in the United States. We don't need stuff coming through the Strait of Hormuz. We produce more oil than we're using. The United States is an oil-producing nation now. We produce oil. We can produce fertilizers. We can produce a lot of stuff that we've been importing for a long time. We have natural gas out the yazoo. We can make nitrogen fertilizers. So now we got to gear up a lot of stuff. We let a lot of stuff languish, but we're not dependent on the Strait of Hormuz. Who is? Europe, China, and of course the Mideast on exports, and they need imports too. Not necessarily oil and fertilizer, but they need the other stuff. So let the Mideastern countries, they could probably handle it themselves. The Mideastern countries, Israel and Europe, handle it. Just pull out. Weaken them enough that those other guys could take charge. Maybe send in a carrier strike force, leave a small force there to train them how to do what they got to do, and pull out. Bomb the snot out of them till they're so weak, and then just pull out. No peace deal required. Just say the heck with them. Bomb pickaxe entrance, and they'll be weak for at least 4 to 5 years. And hopefully they'll be weak enough that the insurgents, the protesters, can overthrow the government. That's what we really hope. Some of them are already starting to protest. They're already starting protesting, even though Trump and the Crown Prince of Iran has told them, no, don't do it now. Don't do it now. You're at risk. Wait. They've been told to wait, and that's one reason they had to. But they're getting anxious. They can't stand waiting. They hate the regime. They wanted to overthrow it back in December. So, and then they got mowed down by the RGC Beji's forces. those Majid's forces aren't in numbers there like they used to be. They're defending against the attacks to some degree. Plus, they're not getting paid. Now, they do have some checkpoints, but Israel knows how to take care of those checkpoints. We saw that in the past. Israel is holding back. Israel's kind of chomping on the bit. They want to attack. Trump's been keeping them out so far. He might change his mind on that and let them have their way for a little bit, since things are escalating the way they are. But now here's the other thing to bear in mind. I was going to point out. Iran's not been attacking Israel. They haven't attacked Israel in quite a while. They've been bombing all their neighbors, the Gulf Coast Arabic states, but they've not been attacking Israel. Why? Because they know Israel wants to go in for the kill shot. Israel wants to do what they think will cause a regime change. And with Mossad, they may know how to do that. And a regime change is what's needed over there. So fertilizer is the third in the comparison of what we're actually seeking when we do business in Strait of Hormuz. Really what we're trying to do is get the global supply chain back up. And so that's for the rest of the world. Iran has always held the sword of Damocles, so to speak, over the strait, over the world for a long time. There was a while we too were dependent on the Strait of Hormuz. We were importing a lot of oil from there. We're not now, thanks to drill baby drill. Thank you for drill baby drill. That's one thing Trump did that I appreciate. And getting us out of a lot of UN agencies and firing a lot of the people in the federal government. I think those are good things. But you may or may not agree. But I think it's a step away from the New World Order. It's a step away from the House of Klaus. And I'll talk about that again here in a little bit. But we need to get away from that. You're calling me an idiot grifter? Well, you're an idiot. How about that? Who am I grifting for? I just attacked Trump in here earlier, you knucklehead, stupid idiot. I just said he was wrong about not getting the uranium, and I'm the only guy that's ever explained why anywhere in the media. So go stick your head in the sand somewhere. The UNQ80, go stick your head in the sand. Yeah, we always get a few in here. Let him yap unless he does something. That wasn't a bad. I'll allow dissent, but you got to be respectful. That's borderline. That was not respectful. I'll allow dissent. You can argue with me. That's fine. But you need to be respectful. You're a Democrat. Obviously, Democrats are radical idiots, in my humble opinion now, given what I'm seeing coming out of the DSA. Pardon me, I know I got a lot of Democrat friends, but the party is going nuts. So, hey, all the son, how you doing? Good to see you. Praying for our military. Good, good, good. Hey, Ronnie, how you doing, buddy? From down under, good to know we got somebody from down under in the house. Let me refresh my screen. So many people are in here on this computer here. So basically, the way to win the war in Iran is to make them so weak. If they don't surrender, it don't even matter. Just pull out. Just pull out and let them have it. Let them have the ruins. They've already incurred over $1 trillion in damage to their infrastructure. $1 trillion. And their money is drying up. And here's nothing. A lot of countries ain't going to want to trade with them. Just China will. But a lot of countries aren't going to want to trade with them after all this. And a lot of countries, even China, is looking for alternate resources to oil. I'm no friend of China. I'm no fan of them. But they're going more to coal, electric cars, make those cheap little BYD cars that catch on fire and burn your house down, or the stores are parked next to. They're really terrible about that, those cars are. I wouldn't want any around here. So just on for a few minutes, mate. Got to work. Okay. Well, thanks, Rodney, for being here a few minutes. Appreciate that. It's always good to see you in the house. If anybody doesn't know, Rodney is a master knife smith. He does excellent work in knife smithing. He is really good. Built some really good jewels of knives. So anyway, guys, so here's the deal. I just laid out this whole thing with Pickaxe Mountain. Why Iran's a real threat. I've talked about that before. I've laid out how we could actually beat them. They might actually surrender. This whole thing with the MOU and all those super favorable terms, Trump apparently never expected they would give in to that, and that's good to know. So you put that was so lucrative to them, and they still weren't happy with it, and because they're crazy, they're extremists. They are extremists. So that's what happens. Trump was one of the Epstein Island. That is good. What Trump was one of Epstein's islands. Nothing is good off him. Every leader is evil. Yeah, maybe every leader is evil. Look, guys, I always said, put your trust in no man. Do not put your absolute trust in any man, especially anybody in the world of politics. Now, he's not been convicted of anything, so there's allegations out there, and there's always a lot of allegations. It takes more than an allegation. He did blow the whistle on Epstein and played a big role in getting the data together for his conviction. Now, that's a fact. So if he had dirty hands, really and truly, would he have done that? If he had really done all this stuff, as much as the Biden administration, Obama before that, tried to weaponize the FBI and CIA to get him, they come up with the lies about the Steele dossier and everything else. If they had that on him, why didn't they release it? They had those files all along. The federal government did under both Obama and especially Biden, and yet they didn't use them to attack. So you got to take these things into account. I don't know what the case is. If he is guilty, then he should be convicted and have to deal with it. But this ain't really about Trump. What this is really about is conservatism versus socialism. That's where I come down. And that's why I'm worried about the midterms. So all these people jumping in here, that's the problem. Democrats automatically assume if you say anything conservative, you're here, you're over there. They don't know squat. They jump to that automatically, start throwing out all this stuff. This video ain't about that. It's about Iran. If you hadn't noticed, this video is about Iran and how to win there. So if you got to come in here with all that garbage, why don't you just wrap it in a towel, stick it in your ear, and pull it out the other side? How about that? No, I'm not pulling any punches, okay? You guys come in, I get attacked on Facebook continuously for posts and conservative stuff with a whole bunch of bull crap. Just people come in just saying they make all kind of assumptions, all kind of accusations, and stuff that has no basis under the sun whatsoever. And yet you can prove to them that what they're saying is wrong. The next day they come back and say the same darn thing. And they do it over and over every day. There's one in particular that attacks me on Facebook every swinging single day, and he's like a broken record. And the guy is a Hugo Prize-winning author. He's a nut job. He's a absolute flaming nut job. I ain't going to name him here right now. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Good to see you. After Trump, though, Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and reported him to authorities. He did. And he cooperated with the investigations. I mean, he actually kicked that stuff off. So I haven't seen any evidence of all the things that make accusations about. What about, they ignore Sniffy Joe, who took showers with his granddaughter, who was sniffing every little girl that came along in the White House. There's tons of pictures of that. Sick stuff. Sick stuff. But, ignore that and just attack Trump, orange man bad. That's the thing the Democrats got, orange man bad and communism, I think, now. So, all right, enough said for that. Enough said for that. This video should be about Iran. That's what Democrats do. They come in and they just start attacking, throwing tomahawks and, like Pocahontas. And they don't even know what they're talking about. So Now there's sicko L. Biden. There you go. So anyway, this is how to win the war in Iran. It don't matter who's president. This should have been done a long time ago. This should have happened before Iran built all the drones, before they built all the missiles, and before they built all these underground bunkers, which are so hard to deal with. If you crush their economy enough, the system is probably going to collapse. And the way to do it is to cut off their supplies. Just cut them off completely. Not just the Strait of Hormuz. Like I said, hit the ports on the Caspian Sea, hit their airports, and take out their rail lines. Then go for their bridges so that all their inner workings start breaking apart. Take out their power grid. At some point, Iran won't be able to lift a finger, especially if the power grid's down. So maybe they might surrender before all that happens, or they might be overthrown. But now the Kurds are also attacking. I hope those Kurds will bring some weapons and give them to the protesters. They were given weapons to do that with, and they kept them. Well, maybe now they will see the value and have an ally with their internal resistance. Let's hope. I don't know. You can't confuse the issue with logic when it comes to that sphere in the world, because they don't think like Americans. They don't think like Westerners. They do not think like you or me. They don't even think like the liberals who are protesting for Iran, and some are doing that right now. So really, Iran is an oppressive regime. Look what they're doing to their own people. 80% of the people there hate the regime, but you got Americans that are protesting for them. Wow. Actually pro-Iran. Meeting with the Chicago Teachers Union, they were actually plotting some way to attack U.S. ports. We're talking U.S. citizens doing this. They have gone so far kilter off the rocker, it's not funny. This is the epitome of what DSA, Democratic Socialist America, stands for, guys. It is something else. Now, if you agree with me and what I've said so far, put a 2 in the chat room. If you don't agree with me, put a 1. Let's see where you guys are. Because I know there's some people, I've got longtime watchers that are mad at me for talking about this stuff. I have some of my longtime subscribers that aren't happy, but I'm going to bring it to you. I'm going to tell you the way I see it. And this is how I see it. I ain't gonna hold no punches. I'm going to put it out there. I am going to tell you exactly what I see and how I see it. And if you don't like it, tough nuggies, as my brothers used to tell me. Okay, well, at least you're honest, Luke Baker. I appreciate honesty, but when you got a Hitler face in your emoji, that's scary. Anyway, you're free to disagree with me, and that's okay. But I'm just going to tell you where I'm coming from. I'm thinking about converting this channel back to a Gardner channel and putting everything back over, putting all this stuff on Silverhead News. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. Or maybe I need to open a separate channel to do my high desert homestead. I got a really big garden. It's hard to make videos on it because I'm spending all my time out there. And it's usually windy, which is terrible for making videos. Yeah, and Bear had a lot to do with that too. And a lot of that happened under the previous administration. So, but if you want more, if that's what you want, if you want more of that, then remember who did the lockdowns. Remember who told everybody they had to wear a mask. They locked down small businesses. They locked down churches, but they kept the liquor stores open. The bars stayed open. And the big stores the Walmarts, where you really had the chance of catching some, a lot more than some little store with a few people in it, were open. But they made the small stores shut down. Why? Because they hate independent businesses. They're trying to rack everything up to the big businesses. And because the big businesses are in their pocket, the big businesses support the World Economic Forum. The big businesses support globalization. The big businesses, they got a flavor of socialism that they're not opposed to, because they know the way they'll set it up, they'll still be on top. It's a rigged game. They got you thinking that you might be going to socialism, but it's probably going to be something else, or else they wouldn't be promoting it. All this new Green Deal stuff. What's the new Green Deal going to buy you? No energy. They want to shut down petrol fuels. Biden tried to ban all kind of propane appliances. Fortunately, he didn't pull it off, mainly because he was asleep at the switch. It was weekend at Bernie's in the White House. Thank God for that. He was not fully functional. Luke Baker, this video is really about Iran and how to win in Iran. Like I said, you missed it earlier on when I said put your faith in no man, and that means Trump or anybody else. But see, that's what you Democrats do. You must be a Democrat because you're coming here and attacking when I really wanted this video to be about something else. That's why y'all drew me into talking the politics stuff here. I didn't mean to talk. So forget you guys. I'm going to go over and talk about what's the biggest threat. It's the World Economic Forum. It's the biggest threat is the House of Klaus. The biggest threat is the globalization, evidenced by the things like the European Union. They want to take a lot of you guys who follow me are liberal Democrats that are homesteaders. They want to take your land because it's a mean of production. And if you don't believe that are going after family farms, there's this whole new thing called it's a tax on unrealized earnings. Basically, if you own land and the price appreciates, they want, even though you haven't sold it, they want to tax that, even though you haven't. Even forget that the price might go boom. No, they don't care that the price might collapse. If it's appreciating and you're holding it, they want to tax that. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of farmers have had farms and been in their family for 100, 200 years, something like that, for a long time. You know, they're the founders of the farms are pioneers often who went in and cut it out of the woods and built it for their family to have and to be able to make a living off of and survive off of for a long time. Now, some farmers, young farmers, are more recent, but with the appreciation of land prices, you can't make a lot of these guys can't make enough money. It's happening in some states, especially blue states. They can't make enough money from the farm to pay that tax. So they're forced to sell the farms. And who are they selling them to? Bill Gates, Big Ag. And what's Big Ag do? They spray glyphosate and all kinds of crap on it, and you get more and more of that kind of stuff in your grocery store. Toxic foods, and all kind of crap. What you need is small farmers. You need more and more small farmers, the homesteaders. But I do know, I bet half of my homesteader friends are uber liberals. They don't realize what the agenda of the DSA is. Choose your side. There you go. I'm putting it, hey, conflict, how you doing? I'm putting it straight to you. I'm telling you exactly, and I'm going to put more on Silverhead News on that. But I support small farmers. But I realize the danger they're facing. If you don't know what some of the stuff is the small farmers are facing, it's chewy weather in the house. I can tell you about all the stuff going on in Oregon. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. So anyway, I'm telling you guys where I said, hey, Cuban American, how you doing? I was able to get in before I was in California, sent my mother things because she got said, I'm sorry. Oh, and passed. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. No, I haven't got it, conflict. Did you back it up? It's not arrived yet. I went in the mailbox for today. Did you back that up before you sent it? Anyway, yes, buy local. Buy from if you're not growing your own, find farmers that you know and trust who aren't putting a lot of chemicals on their ground, who are growing organically, and you're going to get much better stuff. Yeah. So anyway, we need to, before we're done tonight, is say a little prayer. Vote with your dollars. That's what I've been telling you guys. Vote with your dollars. See, that's something that Milton Friedman taught us. Milton Friedman taught us some time back that yeah, Cuban American. We need to pray for Cuban American. So Backed up a few times. Good move. Just in case it gets wiped clean in transit. You never know. Milton Friedman really told us that every time you buy a product, you're casting a vote. Every dollar you spent is a vote cast. It's a vote cast for that company. It's a vote cast for that product. It's a vote cast for what that company stands for and what they promote. And most of us are going to the big box stores, Wally Worlds, and we're buying tons of stuff that's full of contaminants. So that's a good time to segue. Let me do a share screen. It's a good time to segue to my sponsor, which is me. All right, hang on, guys. Where is my share thing? The share button's right next to the kill video button. I have killed my video sometimes when I was trying to do share in the past. Oh, maybe they made it this time. Anyway, so what you need to know is there's just 12 companies that control over 550 different consumer brands. And what these companies did is they decided they want to make more profit even than what the original little companies were they acquired. So they've added more chemicals to make them shelf stable longer, preservatives. This is perfect for pickling people. Means your body won't rot as fast in the grave, right? But you might get there sooner. You'll be pickled people. We got any pickled people eaters? Anyway, seriously, the contaminant, you wouldn't want to eat some pickle person because they're pickled with contaminants. And that's what you're getting. You're getting these chemicals. And even you're getting, let's blow this up a little bit, you don't see it. So, and this includes like toothpaste companies. So, and I covered a video where I talked about how 90% of your toothpaste, we're talking high-end toothpaste that's big name brands that sells themselves that's healthy and clean and pure and Himalayan, blah, blah, and this, that, and the other, and children's toothpaste included. Over 90% of them are contaminated with heavy metals. And I showed you independent lab tests that showed this. I did this in a video several months ago. I need to do more videos like that. These products like Axe body wash. Do you really trust this stuff? Axe body wash, guys. This stuff is just full of chemicals. All of it is, and it's not just what you eat. It's what you put on your skin. The lotions when you're washing dishes. I did a video on dish detergent because those chemicals soak in through your skin and get your bloodstream faster. So now they're finding out that sunscreen is carcinogenic. Have y'all seen that? Most sunscreens are carcinogenic. I don't even use them. They started putting all that titanium powder, titanium oxide, and stuff like that. That can't be good for you. I quit using that stuff a long time ago, and I'm not really having any problem with the sun. I'm, basically a strawberry blonde, which is a light-colored redhead. I mean, I pass as blonde sometimes more than red, but that's what it really is. And what that means is, I'm susceptible to sunburn. But what you see is I don't tan, I rust. I don't tan. I can be out in the sun a lot. I don't ever tan. I just rust. I'm a rusty old man. Anyway, Peter Piper picked a pickle person. That's a good one you knew. Anyway, so yeah, you got to wonder about all these products, even their cough drops, Halls, blah, blah, all this stuff, because it's all got preservatives in it. They add stuff because they want you to buy it. They want to addict you to food. So, because here's a funny thing. Turns out that when tobacco was going down, what was the tobacco companies, R.J. Reynolds and all those, they knew their market was coming to an end. So they bought up a bunch of the food companies. Yeah. A lot of these companies, they bought them up or bought into them to a big degree, and they wanted to make foods more addictive like they did cigarettes. They wanted to up the marketing. So you get a lot of food coloring, red food coloring, and different things which aren't good for you. You get artificial sweeteners. The only thing in the world, sugar is really bad for you. Sugar is really bad for you. But the only thing worse than sugar is every single swinging artificial sweetener, bar none. They're all terrible. All the artificial sweeteners are terrible. Just a heads up, y'all need to know this. And some people, I knew a guy who who did the aspartame and artificial sweetener stuff and Coca-Cola, Diet Coke. He had drunk Diet Coke all the time, thought he was going to lose weight. Never lost any weight. He counted his calories meticulously. He never lost a pound on that. But Diet Coke is an excitotoxin. This guy was brilliant. He was an MIT master's degree guy, was a real good friend of mine. I tried to talk him out of drinking those Diet Cokes. He wouldn't do it. He don't have the brain. I ain't going to name him. He's a shell of his former self intellectually. He don't have the brain power he used to have. Nowhere close. His brain used to be a rocket. Now it's a tricycle. And I hate to see that. I warned him and I warned him and I warned him and I warned him. He wouldn't listen to me. Hey, it's safe. It's safe. It's safe. It's safe to use. It's safe. Yeah. Go trust on that stuff. Go trust in that stuff. But here's the sad thing. These 12 companies, go on the World Economic Forum website, and you got to go down and hunt and peck around for it. I've shown it in previous videos. There is a stuff that's they're partners. The partners pay for that organization. They fund it. And who are these partners? It's the big corporations like these. It's a big corporate world that's paying for that. Why are they paying for something that's going to lead to socialism? Because it ain't real socialism. It's a false neo-feudalistic society they're trying to set up. It's all a trap they're trying to lure people into. That's why they fund that mess. So beware, buyer beware. And you're voting for the World Economic Forum. You're voting every time you buy a product from one of those companies. So that's why I said you're getting contaminated and you're getting poisoned while you're trying to fund your destruction. Now, here's the other sad thing. Those companies, those 12 companies and many others, are principally dominated and controlled because a chief stockholder is typically these three big asset management companies, State Street and Vanguard. I think State Street's the oldest one. State Street, Vanguard, and BlackRock. And who runs BlackRock? Larry Fink. Oh, yeah. And what does Larry Fink also run? He took over the House of Klaus from Klaus Schwab, what they call him. Schwab the Deck. Yeah, him. He took over for him. So there you go. That's all the more reason not to buy that junk. I told you guys a long time ago I was going to come up with a way to get away from that, get out of it, and I did. If you go to switchwithgreg.com, my website, this is my website. I got access to it. So this nobody else's website. I set this one up, switchwithgreg.com. And what you'll find here is a way to switch away from Wally World and all those big nasty products to a company that's family-owned company, not part of the big corporate conglomerates, family-owned company that's here in the United States. Everything they make is made in America. The products are non-toxic. Yeah, you can get this stuff in other countries too. You don't have to be in America to get it. You might want to do that, just not support the House of Klaus and to get non-toxic products. So this is the cool thing: non-toxic products made in America, and it gets you away from this wheel of destruction. And this is, you can come in and you can see some other data about this. But if you fill out this form, that's your get out of jail card with supporting the House of Klaus. Fill out this form. The data comes to me, and I share it with one other person who will call you. Her name's Lisa. She's a member of the community, really nice lady. She will try to get you on board with this, and I'll leave it up to her to set it up because I don't have time to turn around. So check it out. Yeah, I'm rusty. I'm a rusty old man, Peppermint Patty. So a rusty old man. That's what I am. So check it out, switchwithgreg.com. Okay, here we are. Iran continues to work at the key nuclear site, violating U.S.-Iran agreement. I mentioned that earlier. This is the Pickaxe Mountain. They've got satellite data showing that. And they've also been working on Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan. Yes, all four sites, pardon. Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan are the ones we bombed. But they're working on those too. The one I'm most worried about is Pickaxe Mountain. But they're out there actively working on all these sites. Experts deeply concerned over Iran's work at underground nuclear test facility. Well, there it is, Pickaxe Mountain. There's the Natanz uranium enrichment facility. Don't you think they took centrifuges from here and stuck them in here? I would bet on it. So, and Trump has said he's going to attack it. So Pickaxe is a possible target for a nice big fat shot right in the front door, Trump said. He did this interview with radio host Hugh Hewitt. I like names alliterate. We're going to, and then he just come out and said, we're going to take out Pickaxe Mountain. Tell the Iranians to be ready. Let them know we're coming, okay? There's not a damn thing they can do about it. That's what he said. That's not the way I like to talk here on YouTube, but I'm just quoting. So there you are. Trump's threat. Bunker busters in the front door, or there's the front door he's talking about hitting. And you can see vehicles there. They're actively working at it. Satellite photos. Now we're going to change the topic just a little bit. Oh, I should have put this a little bit later in the series. Some scientists are planning to do weather modification to stop this El Nino heat wave. They don't know what they're playing with. This is really dangerous. Let's hope this don't happen, because you start messing around with Mother Nature. We don't know what the effects are going to be. This is an experiment. They shouldn't be running. Besides, I need the rain. I need the rain. Here's one of the bombings taking place in Iran. Reports indicate a major escalation with over 500 missiles reportedly launched toward Iran. Massive fires have been reported across parts of Tehran, which is the capital, as the situation continues to unfold. Apparently, this was like 2 hours ago or 2 hours after I opened it. So here's some of the overnight strikes. Well, there's one of the Shahed drones, looks like. So we're actually firing drones on. Yeah, we got drones a lot, Shahed drones in response. Yeah, that's the response. All right. Suddenly my browser stuck. Let me hit stop. I hate it when that happens. And then we go back to share again. For some reason, I get this little hiccup where the browsers don't want to update unless I stop the video. Central Command, talking about more strikes against Iran. Over the past 7 days, Iran has intentionally targeted civilians across the region by attacking 7 commercial ships, resulting in nearly a dozen civilian crew members killed, missing, or injured. Iranian, see, that's how they try to enforce their little straight deal. They're thugs. There's no way around it. Oh, you won't play our game? Okay, well, just shoot your wheelhouse. Yeah, right, with a drone. That is not playing nice. Iran's also launched dozens of drones and missiles, dozens of missiles and drones toward neighboring Gulf countries. U.S. forces are holding Iran accountable for unwarranted aggression that continues to endanger innocent lives. And this is Admiral Brad Cooper, CENTCOM commander. So there you have it. That's a statement from the CENTCOM commander. All right, nothing too interesting. So let's go to earthquakes. I want to wrap this up very well. Don't tell me I've hung up again. Wow, stupid thing. Stop share, start back, reshare again. There we are. Guys, it looks like we got 2 earthquakes, or maybe 3, right near the San Andreas Fault. They're small ones, 2.7 here, the 2.5 there. Those are not the kind of earthquakes that's going to release the stress. They say right now there's 1,000 times more stress on the faults in San Andreas than there's. Well, excuse me, let me rephrase it. There's more stress in the San Andreas and the one Chico, or however you pronounce it, the neighboring faults have 1,000 times more stress, or more stress than they had in the last 1,000 years. I mean, it's not 1,000 times. So they got higher stress than they've had in the last 1,000 years. Now, you've had some big ones before that 1,000-year interval. So this offers to be a super big one. It could be these little earthquakes, or this whole fault line starting to get unstuck. If it gets unstuck and goes at once, whoo, it's going to be ugly all through this region. And now we found out that the Cascadia subduction zone usually goes almost simultaneous, at least within a week, of the San Andreas or vice versa. And it's primed to go to. So there could be a major West Coast catastrophe, the likes of which is almost beyond imagination. So if you're living out in that area, I would not want to live anywhere near the basin here that Los Angeles is in, or in San Francisco, or anywhere along this fault line, or anywhere west of it. I wouldn't want to be some good distance inland away from it, because that's going to affect a lot of area. Because it's going to be unbelievable, maybe up to 9.0 earthquake. So this whole region may be preparing to unzip. These are just small quakes. Not even in Texas here. What is that? 2.5 in Toyah, Texas. We've seen earthquakes in Toyah, Texas before. That place likes to shake and bake. 2.9 in Dilley, Texas. That's not one I've seen. And of course, our friends in Puerto Rico are dancing. Some of them in San Dominica, and maybe the Virgin Islands over here. Yep, Virgin Islands. Let's back out, because there's some big earthquakes up here in Alaska. We got a 5.4 in False Pass, Alaska. That's pretty big. Inland Alaska, 2.8 Petersville. Now, Kamchatka Peninsula's been rocking for about a year now. Now, they had a huge earthquake there that basically took out a lot of Russian submarine bases. They got a 5.1 right there. And that place has not calmed down since, really. So, I'll get this to roll out. There we go. We got a fair one over here in Peru, 5.6. Looks like we got Chile. Let's see if I can get the outer circle. Yeah, 5.1. Fiji, 5.5. But now there's been a big one over in the Philippines. Philippines gets hit hard sometimes. They got 6.2. Philippines. Tokyo's got some little ones up here, not so big, 4.4. There you go. I think the biggest one is there in the Philippines at the 6.2. That is the biggest one on the map right now. The Philippines is a friendly country. They got a lot of people there. They speak English real well, and they're really friendly to Americans. So it's pretty sad what's going on. My chat room is not. There we go. We finally got another chat. I was starting to think my chat room was dead. That something was hung up here. So there we go. So that's what's happened with earthquakes. We only got 57 in the house. I'm going to refresh and see if that's still right. All right, one other thing. Space weather. It's not looking too bad right now. So 57, still 57 has been steady. All right. We look at the sun, the biggest sunspot, which is like the sunspot by itself, is rotating away from us. Let's hope this 4489 group don't grow too much. We might be not having to face anything major for a few days at least. That's good to know. The Chinese space station is flying over the United States. Come into spaceweather.com, and you can find links to how to watch it, I suppose, there. Aurora activity is fairly interesting. If our good buddy Arnold Smith was in the house, he might could tell us if we could see the auroras or not. He's up in Alberta. Anybody else in Alberta in the house tonight? Coronal holes, not so big. That's probably what's giving us most of the aurora we're seeing right now. So they didn't put an asteroid report in. Maybe there's nothing interesting, but data, no, the asteroid report's not in here. We know cosmic rays are down because solar activity's up. They go hand in hand, guys. When solar activity goes up, cosmic rays go down. When solar activity goes down, cosmic rays go up. When cosmic rays go up, you get more cloud nucleation. You get more reflection of sunlight on Earth, which cools the weather. And got any Spinmark did the papers on that. So if we were in a grand solar minimum, then you would have something to worry about. But the sun has been really active this cycle. It's not representative of a grand solar minimum by any stretch of the imagination. Ooh, sounds like a bad idea. So they're talking about last week, the FCC authorized Reflect Orbital to launch a huge space mirror named, how do you pronounce it, Eldril 1 from an orbit about 625 kilometers high. It will cast a moving 5-kilometer wide patch of light on the Earth as bright as a full moon. That mirror is just a test for something bigger than one day. Wow. It's probably a full mirror. Look at that, guys. Hey, Venus was reflecting on my solar rays last night. All right, we're going to stop the share. Bing, 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 bing. Hello. I'm back. That's enough article sharing. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here. I got to hit the hay here in a little bit. So I'm going to kind of glance through the chat room real fast and see what I've missed. Rick Thomason, Chihuahua. Okay, Rick. Are you still in the house, Rick? Colin McCamey, thanks for your work. Well, thank you. Kim Possible's in the house. So that's good to know. And I'm going to pull up my, since Kim Possible's in the house, I'm going to pull up my email. All right, so CG Coffee, get a new Supreme Leader to order the decree, but he won't. Hey, Riverway Avenue, how you doing? Captain Trips. Yeah, the media covers up all kind of stuff. Steeps the Levant. How to win the Iran war. Don't start the war. It's already started. It would have started anyway. Iran was intended to do it. Oh, I want to tell you about the CIA thing, FBI. There's rumors out there, and I haven't seen it confirmed yet. The story is that the reason, well, I don't know if it's true or not, this is hearsay as far as I know right now, but there are stories and reports that the reason Donald Trump did not come home on the new Air Force One and switch to the old one, they talk about nebulous security things, but some people are claiming that the deep state, the CIA and the FBI, actually hacked the electronics of that plane while it was in Ankara with the plans to cause it to crash with Donald Trump and everybody else on board. That is treason. That is also, if you even make a threat to a president, that lands you in a hoosegow. So if that's true, there may be some heads rolling really soon. That's true. There needs to be some arrest. That's the deep state being bigger than their britches. They shouldn't be challenging the president, whoever they are. So there you go. Oh, yeah. Former congressman who was the head of the Homeland Security Committee in the House, Kurt Weldon, he will tell you that my old good friend I had on this channel many times, Peter Vincent Pry, was taken out by the same. He will tell you that. He will tell you that they've got means to create cancer in people. And he suddenly came down with a very aggressive cancer that wiped him out. No time to play out. So, yeah, getting rid of ghost voters, that's a good thing, Riverway. Riverway Avenue. Riverway, are you also Riversides? Man, for our military, amen. They need to do that. It's always good to see you. Yeah, I got a lot of old friends in the house tonight. We have Rodney, all the son. James Stolly, did I pronounce that right? Of course, we have Peppermint Patty. Well, Ronnie's having a good one. Conflict Radio, how you doing? All right. Don't get it. I'll bring it to you personally. Hey, okay. When should it arrive? Are you still in the house tonight? Parachute present. Good to see you. Can you remember one thing about President Reagan? He was an auction person because he didn't said anything he was going to do to anyone. You mean action person? Oh, you left us, Marie? Oh, shoot, she's out now. Older bones. I feel like that sometimes. Fearing. Hello from the Northwest. Hello, Alan Stiles. Older bones. Lindsey Graham was on a top secret mission according to mainstream media. 007 Trump said he was sending patriots to Ukraine. Then he called Graham a patriot after. Oh, there's allegations that Putin may have taken out. Putin may have taken out Lindsey Graham. Yeah, those some of the guys that attack me every day on Facebook, one of them accuses me of being a Kremlin shield and Putin, whatever. I ain't the guy so far. His granddad actually fought for the Kremlin. Then he's coming on accusing me of crap like that. Just dumb stuff. Dumb stuff. You know, Trump actually has Putin under sanctions right now. Who knows? Tim Casper, how you doing? So Older Bones, what are we fearing? Trump was Baron Skyfall, Lindsay Skyfall, Graham Skyfall, 007, Skyfall Factory. Russia has a nuclear powered cruise missile called Skyfall. It's one of our names for it. Drone. He was holding it, going on and on. In the decoding community. Wow. Yeah, time for him to answer for it. And how do you say it? The in knots, Hannah the in knots. Well, I don't know what. Apparently passed away at home. Yeah, it could have been a blood clot just because he was on a long flight. You know, maybe he didn't get up and walk around like he should have. You need to walk around, for all you need to know, you need to walk around every 2 hours. Now, this computer is telling me the chat's disconnected, but this one's not telling me that. That's strange. Oh, late, but there's, you have to come in late, catch it on the rewind. I'll refresh this. It's still playing my video. It says the chat's disconnected over here, but I'm seeing more chat here. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what that's all, the strange stuff. But anyway, so we're about ready to wrap it up. I got to get up in about 4 hours. It'll take me another hour to process. I might get 3 hours sleep tonight. That's one reason I don't come in too much, do so many videos anymore. I usually spend 3 or 4 hours in the garden a day. I have a huge garden. And fortunately today I didn't have to water. We got a little rain today, just a little bit, enough that I didn't water the garden. Yay, finally, finally. Holy smoke, the first time. So I'm thrilled. So I need to do some gardening videos. I don't know whether to start a whole new channel on high desert prepping, high desert homesteading, high desert gardening, worming. I got worms. I got chickens. I got cats. And I got huge gardens. Huge gardens. But my pond is bone dry. Has been since planting time. already passed in Kiev. That's not what I hear. I wouldn't rule it out, though, but it's alleged that he came back to the States and called and talked to Donald Trump and then passed away right after that. Could be. Could be. Some people think Putin did had him done in because Lindsey Graham was calling for Putin's assassination. But then again, that's one less war hawk in the Senate, right? But, you don't wish that kind of stuff on anybody, but you kind of wish maybe you wasn't such a war hawk or didn't have the power he had as a war hawk. But anyway, so there you go. He was accused of being Trump's one of his main allies. He wasn't at first. He was kind of anti-Trump to begin with. Once he saw Trump had the power and everything behind it, he kind of switched back in, just being a politician. He's a consummate politician. So, or was. I think Mitch McConnell and him kicked the bucket about the same day. Strange stuff. So he fell. So he fell right after he got out of the sky. Oh, interesting. Almost. Ice bullet. Well, that'll do you in. But there's other ways. They got other ways to cause heart attacks. That's one. They got other ways. It could have been something like that. But they have different what means now to make you have a heart attack. Or they can remotely take control of your car and you suddenly crash into a tree, like one of the so-called missing scientists from Huntsville recently did. Crashed into a tree. All kind of stuff like that. Your brakes are electronic now. They're not, you push your pedal and hydraulic fluid goes from there all the way around you through your systems. Nope. It's by wire, electronic, controllable, hackable. What was the Toyota had problems with software on the braking systems, and it caused some fatalities. They had a big software safety issue. Apparently, they solved it. It's a problem with software controls everything. Anyway, guys, I know Marie, Cuban nurse prepper, is out of the house tonight, but let's say a little prayer for her. Let's pray for Susan from the old Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. Her hubby passed away a few months ago. Let's pray for our soldiers. Let's pray for this conflict to wind up with a positive resolution, regime change, basically. And then hopefully we can have world peace. The drone factory got hit just after he left. Interesting. The Skyfall was hit. The Skyfall Russian drone factory by Ukraine. Yeah, it could have been that he gave Ukraine some intel on that. It's possible. Learn to use your e-brake, emergency brake. Yeah, well, that e-brake may be electronic too now. Who knows? So, yeah, Graham's sisters replaced him. I don't know, Paula. I don't know. That's weird. That's just weird. Replace him with his sisters. That's the best they could find, really. She's probably just like him. Anyway, I don't know. Brother, sister. But then again, I knew a brother, sister where the sister, they both worked system safety at NASA. The guy was uber conservative and his sister was uber liberal. They could not get along at all. They could stand each other. I took a sock now. I think he was my boss for a brief period of time, but I actually worked under before he went to NASA. Actually, took a class under his sister. So that was funny. A software safety class. That was her specialty. Software. She was really good at software safety. I have to give her that. Thinking bloodline. Yeah, that's weird. That's just weird. Really weird that they would do that. If y'all can think of somebody else to pray for, let's do a quick prayer. Says we haven't done this in a long time, but I think it's time. Skyfall on the drone factory, exactly. Skyfall on the Skyfall drone factory. Was that the drone factory that hit? No, it was a Ukraine factory. He posed for pictures with the drone. Oh, well, Skyfall has been our name for a cruise missile, nuclear-powered nuclear cruise missile that has a nuclear ramjet that rushes it up. It's also the Russians called it, named after a bird. What was it? Starts with a P. I can't remember right now. There's about three different names for them. Skyfall being one of them. Oh, so maybe Ukraine's name was drone Skyfall too. I don't know. Anyway, let's say a quick prayer. Amen. I forgot to do this disclaimer. I don't. Everybody prays your own way on my channel. I don't lead you in prayer because I have people with many different faiths. So checking my emails if I got any donations through my website. All right, so I always like to check it. I'll give credit where credit's done in case there's a super chat or donation or something come through. I always like to give credit for it. But we're wrapping up here. Oh, we got to do the egg guess. Got to do the egg guess, miss. So I'll tell you. You know who the first 007 was? First 007. And the For Your Eyes Only all comes from the first 007. The first 007 was Francis Bacon, Sir Francis Bacon. Sir Francis Bacon was the first. He was actually, I don't know if there's been any other, except in fiction 007s, but Sir Francis Bacon was the Queen Elizabeth's first 007. I kid you not. Well means it. What's the seven? License to Kill. Yeah, well, that was a James Bond thing. So, all right. So, how many? Another haughty Romulan plot. Romulan plot. Star Trek. How many eggs did I get today? How many eggs did I get today? Time to guess. How many eggs did I get today? I got 15 hens now. Got to really kind of inspect one, how much really an Easter egg or not. How many eggs did I get today, folks? Wow, peppermint patty got it. First guess. Awesome. Peppermint patty got it. All the sun right behind her with the same number, but peppermint patty, you got it. First guess. All right. Once the numbers stop rolling, I'll ask the next question, but we'll let the numbers stop rolling. Peppermint patty got it. First guess right off the bat. That's really good. All the sun was right behind her. Probably picked the number before it showed up on the screen. Queen Elizabeth, 007, interesting. What is the movie about Skyfall? Yeah, there was a 007 Skyfall movie. That's kind of interesting. Sir Francis Bacon, he was the Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, he actually had the For Your Eyes Only deal with the Queen. And I think, yeah, he was basically the first 007. I think it actually, the 007 actually goes directly to him. Self-edit. All right. So how many Easter eggs out of the 7 eggs? How many of them are Easter eggs? How many of the 7 eggs are Easter eggs? Oh, it's 118. I gotta go, folks. How many of the 7 eggs are Easter eggs? Wow. Peppermint, I mean, hexafus got it. Hexafus got it right off the bat. Hexafus, first guess again. The first guess out of the gate got it. First guess got it. Hexafus. There are 4 Easter eggs. The majority of my eggs that I'm getting now are now Easter eggs. I don't know what's wrong with the Dominicans. They're just not producing. There is what I gathered today. These 4 right here are Easter eggs. And these are your brown, typical brown eggs that most, home and backyard chickens lay brown eggs. Most of them do. This is a leghorn. They lay white eggs. I got a leghorn. She ain't laying squat, apparently. I had to double check this. I don't know. I think she's a little mixed. She may be laying a lot of brown eggs. She might be mixed. Since I saw a brown spot on her back, so I think she's a pure leghorn. So maybe she is doing her job. So that's it. You want yourself a self-paid trip to Lost Wages, Nevada, if you want to pay your own way. That's what Arnold Schmidt used to always say when he was in the house. He's not in the house tonight. Probably didn't get a notification. He's probably sitting on his computer and wondering when's Greg going to come online, because a lot of you aren't getting notifications. So please subscribe. Bang the bell. If you're not subscribed, check. Make sure you still subscribe. Bang the bell and click all and share my videos, because I only got a few people watching tonight. Last video didn't even hit 1,000 views. We only got 49 people watching. My attendance is way down. It's the summer heat. There's a while they weren't laying hardly anything. Hey, Greg, have not asked you if you care to answer why you picked the area in Arizona for supposed end of the apocalypse. Well, if you can manage water here in northern Arizona, they've got some unique advantages, and that there's tons of preppers out there. There's a lot of LDS church people. They automatically have a year's supply of food. The prepper to non-prepper ratio here is probably higher than anywhere I know. It's very high. A lot of the homesteaders here who are not LDS are preppers. A lot of homesteaders. If you're a homesteader, you're growing your own stuff anyway, usually. So the prep, and there's some militias out here too. And they got plans to stop people from coming up in the valley, Phoenix and Tucson, should things go awry. So there is a lot of preppers. I am very remote here, very remote. You can't see a cell tower from my house. I am getting cell service, but you can't see the towers. My internet is through Starlink. I am off grid. It would cost me probably better than 40 or 50 grand to get a wire run down here. And why would I want to do that? Electrical wire from utility company. And then you got to worry about EMP burning your house down, basically. So no, I don't even want to be on the grid. I said that before I moved there. So if you're on the grid, get off. Get off the grid. It's not safe. I don't think it's safe to be on the grid. Alabama wouldn't let you do that. Plus, I was 26 miles from Browns Ferry nuclear power plant, and that really had me on edge. The population out here is a lot smaller. The population ratio of prepper to non-prepper is a lot higher. It's not as hot as down in the valley. It's reasonable temperatures up here. It's it's technically semi-arid, not a desert. The desert's supposed to be under 10 inches of rain, and the snowflake area is credited for getting 12.2 inches on average. I think here last year, I really only got about 5 or 6 inches of rain, if that. Might be 4. I need to calculate it, because my roof area, if it got the average rain, would have filled up my tank outside, and I had extra. Would have had extra. I figured like almost 1,900 gallons. I got about 500 gallons. About 500 gallons. So I can calculate this real fast, actually. I got about 500 gallons of water in that tank over a year. And it should have been 1,800. Today it's only good for 1,500. So 500 divided by 1,900. I only got about 26% of the average rain. So times 12.2. I got 3.2 inches. That's like a horrible desert. That's why my juniper trees are suffering out here. I got 3.2 inches of actual moisture last year. Wow, I just now did the calculation. Yeah, that's terrible. Let's say we'll round it up, say 3.25. That's getting to be like Anaconda. I have watched it rain all around me, and rain just slipped by me. I see a huge storm coming right at me, and then do this before it got to me. Been nuts. Hey, thank you for the super chat, C. Shelley. I thank you very much. Much appreciation. Yeah, memory Granny Atlanta. Yes, amen to that. Thank you for that. So, yeah, this I'm saying all there are channels for people living out here in Arizona. Tons of Arizona prepper channels, homesteader channels on YouTube, and they all say collect rainwater. You'll do great. All you got to do is collect rainwater. It wouldn't work here, not the way they do it. I actually plan to do it, but I'm going to have to make a huge collection area to collect it all. My pond field, because it collects over a very big, huge area. It filled after the last frost. Before planting season came around, it was bone dry. So what good did that do me? And we just got a little rain, but it's still no water in the pond. So I got to have rain with some runoff to do that. Did you calculate for evaporation? Well, it should run off from my roof to the tank. And once it's in the tank, it shouldn't be evaporating. Now, if it was is it the elevation? No, there's elevations higher than me, south of me get a lot of rain. And that's one reason I don't get as much because the mountains south of me pull a lot of moisture out. But I've seriously watched heavy rains, east, west, north, south. I've watched rainstorms come right at me and then do this or split, go around. And I've watched rainstorms start just on the other side of me. So what in the world was that? So I'm in some kind of hole here. But I got to assume it's not the only hole. So if you're really going to plan for surviving on rainwater, you better put a lot more capacity in your system than what average rainfall should be. So I'm really now saying I got to peg this thing to 3 or 4 inches. I need to be able to collect 20,000 gallons of water, run my garden through the summer. So I'm going to have to set up what I plan to do is level off some, or not level them, but clear off some areas, and it's on a slight slope, and then mix in Portland cement with the soil, and smooth it out so it will just water will run off of it. And I plan to have a catchment at the bottom of that, and I'm going to dig a big pit, and I'm going to do this probably in about 3 or 4 areas. I'm going to dig various pits. But the combined capacity needs about 20,000 gallons. Right now, I'm spending $20 a day, $20 to $21 a day when I water my garden. That means the vegetables ain't going to make back what I'm putting in water. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm just working out my system. I'm getting the kinks worked out of it for future grow aspirations. But I seriously really got to go in and do. Problem is, wells are so expensive. It won't be cheaper for me to do what I'm talking about. I know it sounds crazy. It's way beyond rooftops. Rooftops ain't gonna come close. If I combine all my rooftops and my solar panels, I wouldn't get but a fraction of the water I need. I need a lot of water. I need a lot of water. So, well, the good news though is that the way I've constructed my beds, I'm not using as much water per square foot as I used last year. Last year, my garden was about a sixth the size of what I got now, and I was using 100 gallons a day. Now my garden's 6 times larger, and I'm running about 209 gallons a day. And it costs 10 cents a gallon. That's why I said about $21 a day to water my garden. That's crazy. Fortunately, I have to today, so I saved $21. And hopefully, we'll get a good monsoon season. I wish I had all that water collection in store, but I got to get a guy here with a track code to fix all that up for me. That's going to cost a lot of money. And I don't know if I'm going to have the money this year. I may not ever have the money. I got a job that I'm working right now that The contract's up the 30th of August. And I am going to be skimping. I cannot survive on unemployment. I can't draw my Social Security because I made too much money this year. They won't let me draw it. Unemployment will only pay most of my credit card debt, not all of it. Unemployment will not pay my debts. Unemployment is not going to feed me. Unemployment is not going to pay my Starlink so I can keep talking to you guys. Unemployment will not pay for me to eat. So I'm going to do three things. While the growing season is going, I'm going to sell warranty. I plan to start selling microgreens again. I got to fix the trailer, clean it out, and get it all set up. I don't know about heating it in the wintertime. That might be a problem because I can't use electric heat at nighttime here. And a gas heater in there probably has a limited life because carbon monoxide buildup in a small enclosed trailer. I don't know. My buddy, if I turn it down low, might work, but there's going to be a point that it won't work. So it's probably a limited time like it now. I'm setting up where I can grow some. I'm going to set where I can grow some upstairs in my bedroom area. I got a corner I'm planning to grow microgreens in. I won't be able to grow at the same scale I could grow in my trailer. But, maybe wintertime I just scale back. If I'm selling to restaurants, I'll just sell to restaurants. So if I can manage to set that up, and I may have to scale back what I do in that regard. Maybe I can sell, it might be the only place I can sell it is the farmer's market or the swap meet here in town. And what I'm worried about is I didn't make a whole lot of money in Huntsville at the farmer's market. I could have made a lot of money if I ever could have really linked up the shelves with my day job, the hours. I really couldn't coordinate to do that properly. So I'm hoping maybe that'll be a difference. Maybe I can sell to restaurants this time if I don't have a day job. The other thing is that because it's making appointments with the shelf is tough, but you have to make 2 appointments. You have a product introduction appointment, then you got to go back and close the sale. And that's extremely hard because you got to go there and you got to wait on them. And you may be in there waiting 2 or 3 hours. When you got a day job, you can't do that twice. You can do it with several restaurants. You just can't. It's just not feasible. So I didn't, I made maybe $200 a week selling at the farmers market in Madison. But that was a very ritzy, high-end city where people had a lot of money. We got a lot of poor people out here in the local, and there was hundreds of thousands of people in there. Here we got 6,000 people in Snowflake and 6,000 people in Taylor. Nowhere near as many people. So I'm not sure if I can sell $20 a week. I'm not sure. I may not be able to sell any. I don't know. But I'm hoping that microgreens will be a part of my get out of jail card. And I plan to do YouTube, but YouTube don't make squat. I think this month, I didn't get many videos up here, but if I don't get super chats, my videos are only from ad revenue. I only make about $5. It's terrible. $5, that's you spend hours and hours researching news. A lot of time learning, you make $5. There's not a job in the United States that pays that low. I figured it out for all the time I was spending on YouTube and doing my research. I was making just on AdSense about 25 cents an hour. It's not a good proposition. Maybe I have to put out a ton of videos. I might make $500 a month. I mean, a ton of videos. That would be more work than a full-time job. And I might get $500. That's the way it is. YouTube really stinks now. Oh, it's just not working for me. So, how far are you from a larger city? The closest larger city is Flagstaff, and it's 2 hours away. It's 2 hours to Flagstaff. The big city, Phoenix, is over a 3-hour drive, and you got to go through a lot of mountains. You got to go down this thing, Morgellons Pass, Morgellons, however you pronounce it. My son got it down pat. You got to go down the steep grade, well, pretty good distance. And conditions aren't good. You don't want to, if it's wintertime, you don't want to do it. Even driving through the mountains there, you get a lot of snow there in the winter times. You don't want to do that. I did not want to drive that road I stole. You might take a flying trip. Flying lesson right over the edge in your vehicle. So I really am reticent to want to do that in the wintertime. So that's the thing. Phoenix, I got a neighbor here. He goes to Phoenix a lot. He don't even want to see the doctors up here. He goes away to Phoenix to see his dentist, his doctor. He's got some kids down there, so he goes down there a lot. But it's yeah, it's over a 3 hour drive, a little bit over a 3 hour drive to Phoenix. Phoenix is a huge city. But, 3 hours down, 3 hours back, and that's just getting to the edge of town. I think that's the airport, basically, the Sky Harbor Airport. You get into the city, you might have to add another half hour or hour if you want to cross it. It's a big city. So you're basically talking about a whole day just driving there and back. So it's not a trivial trip to make. I make it every once in a blue moon, but not that often. So last time I went down to pick somebody up in the airport. Anyway, is there a well on the property just running? No, I don't have a well. A well could cost me up to $50,000. I'm trying to see if I can find some lower cost quotes, but the best well driller, the one that's pretty much always hits water, would charge about 50 grand. Might get it cheaper from somebody else. My well in Alabama cost me $3,000 to go 100 feet. We're talking, the price per foot here was way higher than the price per foot in Alabama. It's because they can get it. That's all. It's because the demand's so high around here, they can get it. In Alabama, I didn't pay that. Now, by the time I put in a lot of the other plumbing, the well house, and all that, yeah, I'd spend a lot more money than $3,000. But the hole itself, 3 grand. Here you might be 50 grand for a hole, maybe twice as deep, possibly 3 times as deep. So, yeah, some things are really expensive. One reason I moved out here is I bought this land for a song, 40 acres. I got it cheap. You will not get land out here anywhere near that price now. Prices have been going up fast. If you want land out here, get it now because the prices are going up. And part of it, I think people from California or somewhere else is moving in here. There's just people moving in. And land prices have went up considerably since I bought this place. Quite a bit. Like about 5 times. I bought this place in 2000, 6 years ago. Land prices have gone up, not 50%, 500%. A lot. A lot. And they're still going up. You can still get some good deals. It's still cheaper than most other places. I bought this land originally to be a western division of my worm farm. Wasn't even planning to move out here. But things kind of went south for me in Alabama. I said, heck, I got land out here, I own it. It's paid for. I was still paying a mortgage out there. And I said, hey, I can live cheaper here. Even though the general cost of living is higher, I'm not paying a mortgage. I'm not paying utilities. My utility bill out there was like $400 a month. I'm not paying utilities. I'm having to haul water in, but I'll work on that. I'm going to do more rainwater collection, but I got to really step that game up to make it work. Big time, crazy big time. Some places out here in the desert, they're collecting enough water off their rooftop and off their greenhouse to water everything. That ain't gonna work here. It ain't not even close. Not even close. I got to do some extreme rainwater collection. And that's not going to be cheap. I'm not even sure I can afford it. It'll make me a job. The Coconina water aquifer is about 300 feet down. And that's really good water. My new place, $22 a foot for the well. 14,000. That's pretty good now. That's pretty good. Yeah. I wish I could get a well for that. I saw a well driller for sale for 20 grand. Maybe it'd be worthwhile to just buy a well drill rig myself. The used one. I don't know if it still works, if it's still in the marketplace. Might make more sense, but you also you got to put the casing in. And one of the last people I called was talking about PVC casing. What's PVC casing? I always had steel casings, but what's PVC casing? I don't even know if I looked out. That sounds fluky to me. Who knows? Maybe the chemistry will be better with soil here. Oil futures have a fair value gap. I won't be surprised to see and other taco when the gap closes. What do you mean by that? Fair value gap. Well, I saw when I looked last, it said it went up to about 83 cents, $78 and some change a barrel. Oil prices going up, well, the worst down like 69, I think. So I bought the cheapest gas I bought in a long time ago. It takes a little while for the pump prices to catch up to where the barrels are selling for. And even when the price goes down, it takes a while for that to reflect the pump too. So I bought a gas cheap today. But, like I said, back during the Obama administration, it's pretty, it's around $100 a gallon, $100 a barrel, excuse me. Said it earlier. So, and everybody says it's going to go to $200 a barrel. That ain't happening. It may go up more, but it ain't going to $200 a gallon because the market's changing. The United States is producing more, and Venezuela started producing more. China's buying less. So the global demand is changing. The Arab countries and the Gulf Coast region are trying to find other ways to source their oil. Saudi Arabia's got some pipelines. They still won't move the full volume what they did before. They're not big enough. Qatar is trying to do pipelines over to the Gulf of Oman. But, it's cheaper to move it and you can move more by ship. Tankers is the cheapest way. It's cheaper than pipelines. You can move more, move it cheaper. So we'll just have to see it all plays out. So if you want to see how to win the war, go back earlier in my video. Catch on rewind if you're just joining. I don't want to be repeating. I've been on here for 102 minutes. I really shouldn't go over 40 minutes. A lot of YouTubers have it absolutely cut off at 40 minutes. That may be hurting me with my coffee club members who watch in the morning. If they're getting breakfast, getting on their way to work, they may see a video over an hour long that makes them balk. But if they know me, they'll know the news is up front. All the good news is within the first, usually 20 minutes, maybe 40. All right, guys. But I spend the rest of the time chatting with y'all because y'all my friends. Have a good friend who drills water wells and can work on equipment when needed. Well, Peppermint Patty, is he in my area? Yeah, if he's out here, let me know. So, or maybe if I bought a well rig. Problem is these well drillers, you don't finance, and you might can go to bank and finance. My finances are shot. I can't do that. So I'd have to come up with cash. If somehow my day job got extended and I could work through most of next year, I might could afford a well. But it would be a lot cheaper for me to build rainwater collection on steroids. I mean, if I do it, I'll show you guys. It's going to be way beyond what most of your other channels are doing because I can't get enough rainwater to do it the way they do. I cannot get enough rainwater to run my farm the way they do it because it don't rain here. Barely. My juniper trees, I got a lot of juniper trees. They are suffering mightily. If things don't change, they're going to die because juniper trees don't grow where there's only 4 or 5 inches of rain, 6 inches. They don't grow. So I may lose them all. A lot of firewood, but I don't want to lose them. How's a party? I'm thinking we could possibly pay you a visit. Oh, that would be sweet. It'd be nice. So, Peppermint Patty, you mean with your well drilling brother? A friend? Let's see, you had a good friend. That'd be cool. Hey, it might be cheaper me to buy a well rig then. I still have to do the casing, the pump, tanks, and plumbing. I can do the plumbing. I got the shared well driller and I also get a small piece of the property. I get the shared oil driller. So what's the deal on property? He's got a deal for you get some property. Anyway, so all right, folks, we're going to call it a night here. Is he close enough to drive an oil or drilling rig out here? I don't even. This county's got so many permits. You might have to have a permit to drill out here. I don't know. I don't know what this county has more permitting requirements than any place I ever saw. Blows my mind. That's one downside here. But basically, I came here because I think it's good from the prepper standpoint. I don't face the hazards of Brown's Ferry going off. There's a lot of nuclear plants out east. There is one in Arizona, but it's at the very southwest corner of the state. It's hundreds of miles from here. And the prevailing winds don't blow from there to here. Barter, read my last comment. Oh, you mean when we swap some property for it? I don't know about that. I think the deal out here, the way this is regulated here, I could only sell 20 acres. I'd have to sell half the property. And I'm not sure I'd want to do that. I don't know. I really love my place here. I love it every bit. I got a beautiful spot out here. It's it's got like three kinds of terrain. I got the upper hills where I come in my property, and I got the mid level here. I got a quite a wash. It's got like rock, almost like a little rock canyon, not a big one, just a little one. Rock area, hollow, I guess you should say, on the east side of my property. And just touching the west side of my property is a big wash it's like 20 foot straight down, just earth walls. I'm surprised it don't collapse. It's just like, it looks like dirt all the way down. And it's just straight down. And I'm just amazed that that don't cave in. Probably because of all the clay in the soil up here. And actually, I do have layers of clay. There is some red clay, but there are layers that this thick, pure, one after another, pure gray clay. I'm not going to pottery business. That'll be something for me to go into pottery business. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to part with half my property. Now, there's a lot of cheap properties out here. I might could help you out with that. Smaller lots, there's sometimes like a 1 or 2 acre plot. They'll want as much money for that as half the price for a 40 acre plot. I don't know, it's crazy. Depends on where they are. But I've got a beautiful place here, and maybe the number one reason is I'm on the end of a long dead end road. My house, it's not quite, but almost a half mile the nearest house. And nobody lives there. I got a friend who owns it. He comes up from Phoenix about once every 3 or 4 months. When he retires, he'll move there. But it's a long way up there. And the next neighbor is about a quarter of a mile past that. And there's nobody else lives on this road. Really, me and one other guy. That one other guy he's a Christian. He will bend over backwards to help me. He's helped me out a lot of stuff. If I need help, all I got to just call him. He'll come running. He has helped me out with so many things. And he is the best. They're both great neighbors. They both help me out. I got two of the best neighbors you can imagine. Two awesome neighbors, and the only people that's on this road. And the whole road is about 3 or 4 miles long. Ain't nobody else on it. And up by the first neighbor coming in, the farthest neighbor away, the one that lives permanent, he's got a big no trespass sign and a chain to pull across the road. So it's nobody comes to my place and they should come to see me. I have it since I've been out here. Nobody's just shown up Anybody that comes down here, I know they're coming. Nobody just shows up. Ain't that many people know I'm down here where it is. If you were to find my address and use Google Maps to come here, it's going to send you to the wrong place. It will send you to the wrong place. The mail don't come in. Nobody comes down here. Nobody comes down here. So I accidentally pocket dialed 911 and a sheriff tried to find my place. He actually wanted to come check it out. He couldn't find it. So guys, I am remote. I am remote. I don't want to sell mine until I have a place to go. I hear you. Will you consider hiring on to install solar in a van and let me be parked there while you do it? That might be. I've got solar in my van out here. I know where you can get solar cells cheap here, solar panels. I think I paid 35, might have been 25. I think there's something for $35 for a 250 watt panel. And so that's how I bought mine. They're secondhand, but they're only like a couple of years old. They'll last forever. And you get a few of those panels, put them on top of your van. You have a lot of power. I only have 100 watts on top of my van, but I got 9 kW out here. So yeah, that might be something I could work up. Greg, go get some rest. That's what I need to do. Oh my God, it's only 2 a.m. Sun's gonna be up at 5 here. My roosters are gonna start throwing at 4. And it'll take me a little bit just to process this video. All right, see, Shelly, you're exactly right. I've been on for 111 minutes. That's way too long. I gotta go. I did not plan to be long tonight. I get chatting with you guys. I can't help it. I love you guys. I get chatting with y'all. Get carried away. I need to stop that. There's a lot of video guys who will tell their story. They will acknowledge a super chat, and that's it. And then they get off. They go live. They don't chat with their chat room. In fact, I don't know anybody that does, except maybe Pepper Nurse One, Ed. There's a few that does. I like Pepper Nurse One. I have a shout out Prepper Nurse One. If anybody watches Ed on Prepper Nurse One, tell them I gave him a shout out. He's one of my favorite channels. And Popular Report, Steve. He's one of my favorites too. A lot of the other prepper channels I've stopped watching. Some of them I just can't listen to them anymore. Much love to you as well. Well, thank you, C. Shelley. Appreciate it. Cobble Art. How you doing? All right. Yeah, I got a call in. Peppermint Patty. Okay. Full talk. Maybe I could do that. It might be better if I did when I'm not working my day job. Right now, all my time practically is garden and day job. It's taking all the time. And I'm way behind on back taxes. I'm not 3 years now. I got to find a big chunk of time to work that. And it takes a tremendous effort for me. And I've lost a lot of my receipts in moving, so something's wrong there. That's messing me up. Anyway, guys, let me check one more time before we go and see if I got any donations. I'll have to give credit if there's somebody to give me a donation. I'll check my email. Ding, 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 ding. There's my email at. There it is. Not tonight. Okay. Oh, we're getting. I can't talk. I got my tang tangled. You ever get your tang tangled? So, C. Shelley. Thank you very much, C. Shelley, for the super chat. Thank you, mods, for keeping the channel clean. 14 eggs. No, we already did the egg yesterday. I got 7. But 4 of them were Easter eggs. Where's your rocket assembly building? There you go. Yeah, I did some rocket assembly in Huntsville. I got a rocket motor. I don't know if y'all can't see it, but right here. One of them we did. So who knows? I might get some lab support out of Huntsville. It's possible. Anyway, number 3. Came in late, but good to see you. All right, fun time. Appreciate you coming in the house tonight, this morning. Catch it on the rewind for everybody that's coming in late because I did all the news up front. So please share my videos. We need to get the algorithm up. I'm not getting that many views. So go in after I post a video and post a comment in the comment section. Maybe comment on somebody else's comment. I need some interaction. If you're not giving me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs up, please. We got 68 in the house. How many thumbs up I got? We probably had a couple hundred through the night log in. So I know my thumbs up are really short. Now we got a couple people aren't happy with my content. They said so in the chat, but hey, I'm going to tell guys, I'm going to call it like I said. We got 68 watching, 63 thumbs up. That's good. We're getting close. So give me a few more thumbs up, guys. I really appreciate that. Give me a few more thumbs up. It all helps the algorithm that has no rhythm. So I just want to thank everyone for watching. To one and all, a good night, good day, wherever you are, because we get people on the other side of the world. And with that, I am in honor of Granny Atlanta. I want to say, ho, ho, ho. She always loved it when I said that, because I'm Santa Claus.